So the Two of Cups, it's coming out very, very early on in the spread, and it does indicate to me this is residual energy, possibly something that is coming through from October. There's a very, very strong soul connection that you have with somebody in your life, okay? And there's a very, very strong pull in this direction because we have the Eight of Cups here. There's a very strong pull and there's a very positive, almost like faded karmic connection that you have with another person. And in this deck, for some reason, I feel as if I don't sense, I don't sense that there is a physical attraction, but I do feel that there's a very strong affinity that you have with another person. And the relationship itself, whether or not it blossoms into a friendship or into a love relationship, that is something that is up to you to decide. But I do feel somebody is like being thrown your way. And there is a very, very strong magnetic pull from the other person to you. There's also a lot of communication that they're trying to establish with you. But I don't feel a lot of you are going in their direction, because you're still very stuck, all right? So with the major arcana cards and also with the Ten of Swords that I pulled out and also the King of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles is, in the reverse, it indicates to me inaction, okay? So a lot of you might be involved with an earth sign, and you might be feeling very, very stuck with this earth sign. So this could potentially be the Two of Cups person that we're dealing with, where you feel like they're perpetually in your life or coming through your way, and yet you don't see eye to eye and you don't know how to make the relationship work, okay? So we have the Chariot card here, which indicates that these are opposing energies that are not working in harmony with one another. The Magician as well indicates to me this situation is somewhat out of your control. So you have a choice here, whether or not you stay and continue to work at it, or you can cut yourself loose and unbind yourself. And I feel that, this is a major decision that you're making for this month. And it can also be, a work situation too, because I do feel that it's something that you've invested a lot of time in. It's also a situation where you might be hanging on to a job for emotional security, okay, for financial security as well. And you're going to come into a sense of empowerment by the end of this month, especially by, let's say, by the second week of the month. So this is going to be around the 15th, 16th or so, where life picks up a bit, where other aspects of your life start to turn around for the better. And as a result of it, you're not so fixated on this one relationship or on this one job that hasn't been working. And if for those of you who are working at a job and you're feeling very oppressed, or you feel as if you don't have, the freedom, the creativity to do what you want, there might be time constraints, such as you might be overworked and you feel as if you don't have time for your significant other, for example. Or you might be working at a job and you feel as if you're not making any solid contributions, or you don't really see an opportunity to move laterally. Okay, so there is a new opportunity coming through as well, because Knights come in bearing gifts. So this could be a job proposal coming through for you by the end of this month, and you're going to have to decide whether or not you want to leave your old job, which feels a little bit restrictive, but at the same time it's comfortable. Or you might want to decide, I'm going to leave it either way because I want to challenge myself. I want a little bit more growth, a little bit more opportunities to learn new skills and upgrade my skills, or at least be in an environment that is conducive for, moving up laterally and climbing the corporate ladder, for example. So you might decide to move with this new opportunity. So I do feel that there is a very, very strong pull to the past, and the past seems a little bit problematic, because if we're looking at this as a section of the Celtic cross spread, what I'm sensing here is, at the heart of the matter, is the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords in the traditional Rider-Waite deck does indicate to me bondage, okay? It's anxiety, fears, keeping us up at night, um, keeping us mired in negative thinking so that we don't have faith in ourselves, so that we don't appreciate the opportunities that are coming in around us. It is in the reverse position, so it indicates to me the situation is alleviating. In the past position, it's the Eight of Cups, which is investing a great deal of something, a great deal of time, resources, and things like that in a situation, and then not having it work the way you want, but you keep going back to it and you keep doing the same things over and over again, hoping that things will get better. What's coming in for you is the Death card in the reverse. So I feel that a lot of you have decided, you know, I'm going to give this one last try. I'm going to give it just one more try. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be out. I'm going to move on with my life. And it's corroborated here too by the Ten of Swords in the reverse. So there's definitely one last chance coming in here for this month. And if it doesn't work, you're not going to waste your time anymore. So I definitely feel you are going to give it one last chance, and that would pretty much be it. So a lot of this pertains to a relationship, and I do feel for those of you who are in a relationship with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, I do sense that they know you're serious, okay? They know you're serious and they are going to try their best to do right by you. But I also feel that there is definitely a situation where both parties really need an open channel of communication. Both parties are kind of at an impasse. But there's going to be communication coming through in order to make this situation work. And once again, if you are dealing with an earth signs are very, very slow to act. It's just the nature of earth signs. They're very systematic, very methodical, and they plan things out, okay? So we're dealing with opposing energies. You're fire, they're earth. So they're a little bit more grounded, and they're very, very slow to act. So I would say that this indicates to me that you know, scrap in a relationship especially, it means scrapping away pretenses in order for true, meaningful communication to come through. It could also be a situation where there's a breakthrough when it comes to communication. So I definitely feel that this could potentially be traveling. In the past, you've always traveled. You've always traveled to see your lover, for example, if it's a long distance relationship. You were always the one putting in the effort, and you can't do that anymore. Moving forward, they will travel to see you, and I feel like it might be a pleasant surprise. And as a result of it, you're realizing, wow, you know, maybe this person is worth it. Maybe I should give it another try. And I would say that you feel in your heart whether or not it's worth it. For those of you traveling, I do feel that you want to plan things out very, very well. And it's also Thanksgiving, you know, in the United States by the end of this month. And with the Chariot card in the reverse position, I definitely feel that you want to work out your itinerary and at least, you know, get things checked out on the vehicle front so that you're not caught up with surprises. It's also the start of winter, so you don't want to be caught out in the cold, okay? I do feel that there is a very strong soul connection here, and it can play out very positively, okay? If both parties or both sides choose to work with one another. For those of you who are in, I feel like for a lot of you, this might be, you know, a long established relationship. It could be a situation where you're seeing somebody for a long period of time, but none of you are exclusive with one another. This is a month in which things are getting solidified between the two of you. I do sense a lot more meaningful communication coming through. Opportunities to travel with one another and to have a great, wonderful time with a significant other. For those of you who are single, I do sense there is a very strong earth energy, earth sign, somebody who's very stable coming through. And for some reason, I'm sensing that this person comes on the heels of some movement coming from you, either relocation or some travel. They're coming on the heels of that, and they're coming in towards the end of this month. So the first 2 weeks, it seems to me as if you really have to sort out what it is that is no longer working in your life, and you have to really understand the mechanics behind the relationship, such as, why exactly didn't it work and what can I do better? Because I do feel that there's a lot of love involved here. If it's a love relationship, even if it's a work partnership, there's at least mutual respect, okay? There's a lot of love and affection here and seeing eye to eye, at least agreeing on some things, but on a philosophical level, you might be very different people. So this is a strong foundation for something that can be built, but it could also be that situationally, the timing has been bad in the past. So for example, if it's somebody that you've been interested in for quite some time and they have interest in you too, for example, you might be dating somebody or they might be in a relationship with somebody, so timing has always been off. There's either that or just around your environment. So for example, it could be somebody that you're working with and you don't really know how to bring it to the next level, or it could be somebody that you've been friends with for quite some time and you don't really know how to get past that friend zone. So there's definitely some blockages. It has to do with timing. And for this month, the timing is in your favor because I definitely feel there is celebration coming through. There's a breakthrough. If there has been a third person involved, that third person is leaving the picture. So there's going to be meaningful breakthroughs and communications coming through from breakthroughs for this relationship to escalate or to take off into the next level. So that's definitely coming through. For those of you who are, in a work environment and you feel as if you might have felt a little bit stuck in the past, or you might have projects that didn't exactly pan out and you feel like you have to go back and forth having to fix them. And then it seems as if, whoever is giving you the work projects, they might not be very clear with details and they might not be very clear with their expectations. So as a result of it, you're kind of like fumbling around in the dark, not really sure what it is that they want from you or how to accomplish something. But I definitely feel some help coming through for you, or at least communication coming from them to help you navigate this situation, okay? So either way, Leos, it is going to be, the first 3 weeks are a little bit weird. I feel like the energy is very off kilter. So we have positive cards, but we also have a series of you, I guess, going back and forth, like flip-flopping between what you should do. And ultimately, I would say the only advice I can give in this situation is that release the outcome. And I feel this is also advice for the previous video I did, which is Aries. So it might be a fire sign thing. So release the outcome because there are a lot of things that are outside of your control and you might not understand it now, but I do feel timing is going to be everything, and timing is going to allow the information or the communication blockages to uplift, and then you're going to get the answers that you need, or at least you're going to get the momentum and the traction and things to go in the right direction, okay? In terms of, so a lot of you might just be contending with like an authority figure who has been problematic, who's not very clear with their expectations, who might even play, I feel like both of these cards, are very male dominated, so they might favor, male co-workers, for example, and you happen to be a female, and you feel as if work is not really fair, it's not really balanced, okay? And I definitely feel that if you're in that situation, I do feel a male colleague is going to step in and fight alongside you. So either way, if this is something that you're definitely feeling like some sense of favoritism regarding to gender in your work environment, this is something that is going to be hashed out or at least talked about so that you will start to realize that you have coworkers' support on your side, okay?